It was just terrible what happened to that George Floyd guy up in Minnesota. The cop leaning on his neck died of COVID-19. It's not a laughing matter. I know. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. I am sad for him. I'm sad for his family. You know what I'm more sad for? Our country right now. Have you seen the pictures of LA burning and you idiots are out there saying, oh, it's got to burn down. Let's riot. Let's loot. There's pictures of skinny little bespectacled cuck sandwiches stealing Lego sets from Target in Minneapolis. You know, there was a black bar owner whose bar was destroyed and looted. There was a black landlady who lost her apartment complex, the one her family scrimped and saved for. You know, income from rental units is pretty steady. It's pretty honest work. It's pretty good profit. Looters destroyed it. They've destroyed things all over the country. They've been breaking into houses. Why? Because of white privilege. You know, a black boxer broke into old people's homes in the southeast of this country and started beating the hell out of sleeping Alzheimer's patients. They're just old people sleeping who happen to be white, and this boxer in his 20s comes in there, just starts expressionlessly punching them in the face. Old people who can't defend themselves, so they bled. They don't know what's going on. He's doing it because he thinks that there's a problem with racism in this country. And guess what the white people didn't do? We didn't riot. You know, I don't hate any ethnicity, all right? But in a country where the ratio of one ethnic group's violence against another ethnic group is 10 to 1, you'd expect the ethnic group who's being maligned to respond. Think about this. The ethnicity we associate with Africa in this country, because let's face it, they're not African Americans, they're Americans who are dark skinned. They didn't come from Africa. They have generations of ancestors here. They're as American as you or me. We're all American. This group accounts for 1 out of 10 people in this country, but they are 10 to 1 times as violent against other ethnic groups, including those who aren't white. Look at Koreatown in 1992 in LA. That wasn't a conglomeration of white people. That was looting. You know what's going on here? There's a bunch of people who have been living off the government their whole lives, and now they have a chance at socially acceptable criminality. They can loot, they can deface buildings, they can set things on fire, they can steal. If you're involved with this, you are the problem with this country. If you condone this, you're an idiot. Martin Luther King walked on Washington with 1 million men. They didn't loot. They didn't set things on fire. They didn't shoot one another. People didn't die as a result. And make no mistake, people are dying right now. There's a guy in Omaha. He was breaking into some dude's store. The dude shot him, and they're not going to prosecute. You know why? Because he was defending himself. And that was the right thing to do. You aren't helping anything with this looting. You know, I'll tell you what's going to happen with this Loot-icrous behavior. You are going to force curfews. You're going to expand police budgets and taxation because of destroyed infrastructure, which is going to reduce your ability to make any money legally. That's going to facilitate an increase in the black market. Property values in places like Los Angeles and Seattle and Denver and Minneapolis and New York and DC, where all these things are taking place, they're going to go down. They're going to go down. Jobs are going to go out of business. People are going to leave. You know, movie theaters haven't been open for going on 3 months now. That's cutting into the film industry. Los Angeles, I wonder if it's going to come back. I honestly wonder if Los Angeles isn't at the prologue stages to the climax, which is Detroit today. You know, the auto industry folded, and so did all the business around it. Well, Los Angeles has already been farmed out to Atlanta, and many overseas groups are creating their own media empires. Hollywood is not as integral as it used to be. As it goes, so goes the rest of the real estate and the industry. China already owns theaters and movie studios out there. So you're looting, you're destroying these buildings, you're making it a liability to be in South California right now. If you're in South California involved with this, and if you're anybody else, you're doing the same thing. You're destroying the metropolitan edifice that you've created, and it's not going to come back overnight. I mean, the level of destruction, LA is on fire right now. This is going to cost money, and you know who's going to pay for it? The most broke people. Because I'll tell you who's not going to pay for it. Billionaires, rich billionaires, you know, they're going to pay. They're going to pay protesters, and they're going to put bricks on site, and they're going to send people state to state. Oh, you bet they're going to do that. You know why? Because it's going to increase things like taxation. It's going to lead to inflation. It's going to reduce the ability of poor people to rise out of their poverty because necessary legislation and an increase in red tape transpires such that what is legitimate business becomes black market enterprise. And that's what happens in socialist countries. This is what you're bringing in. And furthermore, everybody sees it in this country. Now, my hope is that that doesn't happen, but here's the problem you're dealing with. Everybody's going to leave. Everybody's going to vote Donald Trump. The people who stay behind in these big cities, these liberal sanctuary communities, they're going to double down. They're going to get further left than they've been. And idiots like you are going to keep championing it. You're going to keep egging it on. And as it gets worse, it's going to get more and more restrictive. It's going to increase the divide between rich and poor. Meanwhile, economic generation will deplete, government funding reliance will increase, and eventually it's either going to be a total change in state or it's all going to sink into nothing. I don't think the people who are out there looting have thought this through. But I'll tell you what's exacerbated it. This COVID-19 hoax. Oh, it's a real disease. Just like the common cold is a real disease, which is real mild. Nobody's worried about social distancing right now. Oh, they're wearing masks while they're running around throwing Molotov cocktails and stopping to spit and cough after the joints they've hit and puke after the booze they've drunk and scream at the sky and shoot off fireworks, all packed into crowds like sardines in a can. Yeah, they're really, really stopping the spread of COVID-19. No. But guess what? It's not a big deal because as you on the left who are rioting already know, COVID-19 was never a big deal and this was always a lie. And everything you do right now in those streets is recorded on little cameras like this one right here. Not just surveillance from CCTV, not just drones, not just police cams, other people in the crowd recording things and posting it to social media of which you have no control. And the people who lose money, they have to use the legal recourse. And they're gonna. And you idiots out there rioting, your names, your likenesses, your pictures, evidence of a video nature showing you doing all these things, it's gonna show up. And guess what? Nobody's gonna give a rat's ass if you were doing it for some George Floyd guy out of Minneapolis that you never met and who you don't care about and who you don't know about. There's allegations that he worked with the cops who arrested him before. There's allegations he was in porn. There's allegations he did cocaine. None of that matters. As a cop, you don't murder a guy ever. That's to protect and to serve isn't to intimidate, arrest, and kill with a knee to the neck. That's horrible. You know what's a lot worse? Burning down businesses and causing hundreds, probably thousands by the time this is done, of people to die collaterally just because you want to get away with some shit. You millennial cucksuckers. You ludicrous fools. Stop it. This is the craziest, stupidest thing. God blessed me. He pulled me out of California. I got out of there. You guys, if you are there, if you're where this is happening and you see this, you have got to tell people to stop. You've got to talk sense into them. This can't go on. Anyway. Keep looting if you like. What you're going to do is you're going to destroy whatever leftist edifice you've created. You're going to drive people into the arms of Donald Trump. He will get elected again. His regulations will take away any legacy that you've had. And the cities that you've looted will sink into decline like Detroit. Meanwhile, your enemies who are conservative and civilized, who aren't egging the breakdown of civilization, those people will prosper and God will protect them. Because that's how reality works. The only outcome you've got that's positive is if America is destroyed and there's a globalist state, in which case we all become serfs and that's not a good thing. So you've got a lose-lose situation. Stop ludicring. Stop looting. It's ludicrous. It's idiotic. Just stop it.